Hello everyone. Week 17 is almost here in the 2013-2014 NFL season, and I'm going to go in depth in each game here and go over some statistics and stuff. And for each game, I'm going to give you guys my score prediction, my picks, and as well as one bold prediction per game. So should we just jump right into it? Let's see. Okay, the first game, we have Carolina at Atlanta. I'm sorry, guys. Carolina at Atlanta. So, this game obviously means nothing to the Falcons, being that they can't make the playoffs. They're starting out at a nice 4-11, and so pretty much they have nothing to lose if they lose. I don't know if they're even going to start all their starters. But however, Carolina 11-4, 10-5 would not be good for them, so they're gonna try their hardest to get this victory here. Both of them are very close on their points per game. Carolina currently getting 23 points per game on average, and Falcons are getting 22.2, but the Falcons are getting more yards per game, so that's a little bit interesting. Falcons also getting more passing yards per game. But however, Carolina is getting more rushing yards. I think the run game on the ground is going to be a big factor. Now, their defense, Falcons are obviously letting more points than Carolina is. Carolina is first, actually, on defensive points per game. They're only allowing 14.7 points per game. Both of them letting over 300 yards to the opponent each game. Both their passing yards are over 200. Their defense allows over 200 passing yards per game. But then Carolina lets a lot less rushing yards. So that's why I predicted my score is going to be 21-13 Carolina. I feel like Cam Newton's going to have a decent game, but I feel like the run game is going to be the most important thing. The Falcons obviously have been letting the other teams get lots of points. The Falcons haven't been doing too great on the run game. They're 32nd, actually. So I feel like Carolina's not going to destroy them, but they're definitely going to win. Now, my bold prediction for this game is the Falcons. Let's see. Falcons fumble the ball twice is going to be my bold prediction. I feel like they're not going to be able to hold on. So, that's the first game. Let's move on to the next one. Green Bay at Chicago. Now, this is going to be a very interesting game. Hold on, let me just... Hold on a second. Okay, so right now, 7-7-1 for Green Bay. They need it more, but 8-7 for Chicago. Chicago's trying their hardest to get this wild card slot, and if they win, they just might get it. So I have a feeling that I don't know if Jay Cutler's starting it. Most likely, Jay Cutler will play. I think, or is he back yet? I don't know. Whoever the quarterback's gonna be, he's just gonna. I feel he's going to have a breakout game. Let's talk some statistics, though. Both of them getting over 25 points per game. Both of them getting over 350 yards per game. Passing yards, both over 250. Rushing yards, both over 100. So they're kind of close. That's why their records are kind of close, honestly. Now let's talk about their defense. Both of them are allowing their opponents to get over 25 points per game. Both of them are allowing their opponents to get over 350 yards per game. Both of them are letting their defense get, both of them are letting their opponents get over 200 passing yards and over 100 rushing yards. So both their defenses aren't very great at the moment. They can get the job done, but they just haven't shown themselves, honestly. So, I pick the Bears. I say Bears win 41-30. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. We got Matt Flynn, who's been doing good recently. He hasn't been winning, but he's been doing good. Unless, they're saying Aaron Rodgers might come back. If Rodgers does come back, he hasn't been cleared yet. But if Rodgers comes back, I think he's gonna have an explosive game. But not good enough is what I'm saying. I'm saying he's gonna be off rhythm a little bit, but still be connecting on some passes. And I think, McCown or Cutler, they're going to have a really good game, and that's all I really have to say. My bold prediction is each team gets a special teams touchdown. Now, that's pretty hard to do, and I think it's going to happen in this game. Also, keep in mind for this video, guys, just because I'm saying this team's going to win doesn't mean they actually are. So the next game here is we got the Texans at the Titans. So this is going to be, I feel like it's going to be a close game. Texans are 2-13 and Titans are 6-9. Both of them pretty much the playoff spots are just out of it. They don't have a chance, honestly. So I have a feeling they're both just going to try their hardest just to get the last win of the season. It's going to be a very close game. I don't know who's starting at quarterback for the Texans right now, whether it's Schaub or Yates. But points per game, Tennessee does get about 4 more points per game on average. Yards per game, they're both getting over 300. Passing yards per game, both over 200. Rushing yards per game, both over 100. Defensive points per game, which means they're allowing their opponents each to get over 20 points. Whew. They're allowing their opponents to get over 300 points, both of them. Both of them are allowing their, the Texans are letting their opponents get just under 200 passing yards, and the Titans are letting them get just over 200 passing yards. Both of them around 115 yards is how much they're letting the opponent run on the ground. Now, I'm thinking Chris Johnson's going to be the difference in this game. He's going to get some carries. He's going to run the ball. They're going to hand it to him. The Texans defense is not going to be able to stop them, honestly. That's why my score prediction is 17-10 the Titans. It's just both quarterbacks are going to have decent games, I feel. But Titans just are going to win. My bold prediction is Chris Johnson gets over 150 rushing yards. So how about our next game? Ooh, Browns at Steelers. Now this is going to be a very interesting game. This is going to be a very interesting game, I do have to say. Both in the same division, the AFC North. Cleveland obviously out of the playoffs. Steelers have the slightest chance at the playoffs. If they win, then in San Diego, Miami, and Baltimore, all three lose. The Steelers will clinch the wild card. So they have a lot at stake, but it's very unlikely that they're going to make the playoffs. However, they're definitely going to win. They're definitely going to win. These guys have been rivals forever, and Pittsburgh wins almost every game against Cleveland. Points per game, Steelers get about 4 more points per game. Yards per game, Steelers actually get about 2 yards less per game on average. Passing yards per game, it's actually about the same, which is pretty surprising because I don't know if they have Marcus Wheaton starting. They might, and he's not doing so great. Rushing yards per game, both of them in the 80s, so they're very close on offense, but then the defense comes into play. Let's see. Both teams are allowing their opponents to get about 25 points per game. Both teams are letting their opponents get over 340 yards per game. Both teams are letting their opponents get over 200 passing yards and over 100 rushing yards. Honestly, these guys are so close, but then their records are so different, honestly. Like, if we just go down this column here, it goes points, yards per game, pass yards per game, rush yards per game. Well, just in those four, Cleveland is 27th, 15th, 12th, 27th, and Steelers are 17th, 16th, 11th, 29th. They're kind of close, but then the defense, Cleveland goes 23rd, 10th, 9th, 16th, then 18th, 14th, 8th, 22nd. So they're really close, actually. But I'm predicting that Steelers win 20-9. Actually, my bold prediction is that the Cleveland Browns don't get a touchdown. So I feel like Cleveland's doing an okay job at passing the ball. They get connections, but then they have bad passes. And I feel like they're not going to get a touchdown. They're going to get in the field goal range a few times. I'm so sorry for that, guys. But I feel like Ben Roethlisberger's been doing good recently. He's been connecting with, Sanders. He's been connecting with Antonio Brown. It's just going to be a good game for the Steelers, not a very good one for the Browns. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this game, guys. And let's go on to the next game. Redskins at the Giants. Woo-hoo-hoo. This game is going to be, division rivalry. I don't know if every game's a division or not. I'm not too familiar with every division. But this game is at 1 o'clock on Fox. Washington Redskins 3-12, Giants 6-9. The Giants' playoff spot, they pretty much are out of the playoffs as of this point. But I still feel like Eli Manning's going to go in there and start. Now, Eli Manning has over 20... What is it? He has like 25 interceptions, which is an awful lot. He might be the worst quarterback in the league right now. But let's see here. Points per game. Giants are getting almost 20, and Redskins are getting a little over 20. Yards per game. Giants are getting about, or not Giants, Redskins rather, are getting getting 70 more yards per game than the Giants. The passing yards per game. Redskins are getting a little bit more. Rushing yards, Redskins are getting about 50 more. Redskins seem to have a better offense. Definitely. Both of Redskins are allowing their opponents to get 30 points per game, but then the Giants are allowing them to get 25. Defensive yards per game, both allowing their opponents to get over 330 yards per game. Both allowing their opponents to get over 200 passing yards and over 100 rushing yards. So, Redskins obviously with the better defense, RG3, or better offense rather. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up a lot. But they're allowing him to... they're pretty much just... They have a better offense, but the Giants have a better defense. They started out the season like 0-6, and they've just come back from it. I feel like Manning's gotten better each game, and that's why it's kind of risky, but I'm predicting the Giants win 24-14. I feel like Redskins are gonna have an off game. They know they can't make the playoffs. They're gonna be kind of feel like they're failures, and and I feel like the Giants are just gonna get the win. My bold prediction is one of the starting quarterbacks gets injured in this game. It is division. These guys, they don't exactly like each other. So, what's next? Baltimore at Cincinnati. Well, this game, division rivalry. This is as close as you get to a major division rivalry, except for the Ravens at Steelers, and this is going to be a very close game. Cincinnati obviously has clinched the division with a 10-5 record. Baltimore 8-7. Baltimore has the best chance of making this wild card slot. For Baltimore to make the wild card, either San Diego, if Baltimore wins, either San Diego or Miami has to lose. If they both win and the Ravens and Miami will go, I don't understand that really. Baltimore right now is the only team that can lose this game and still make the wild card as long as San Diego, Miami, and Pittsburgh all three lose as well. So let's get into the stats. Why don't we? Points per game. Bengals are getting about 7 more points per game. It's about 1 touchdown. Yards per game. Cincinnati's getting about 50 more. Passing yards per game, about 30 more for Cincinnati. Andy Dalton's been doing pretty well recently. Rushing yards, Baltimore's not doing too good on the ground. Ray Rice is not having a very good season, and so they're not getting as much, about 30 more for Cincinnati. But now let's go to defense. Baltimore, number 1 red zone defense, but Cincinnati has a really nice defense as well. Defensive points per game, both allowing their opponents to get about 20 yards per game. Defensive yards per game, both are allowing their opponents to get over 300 yards, both allowing them to get over 200 passing yards, both allowing them to get about 100 rushing yards. I'm trying to speed this up now, guys. My bold prediction is the Ravens do win in overtime, and it's going to be a 27-20 score. Baltimore beat Cincinnati last time they faced each other, and Baltimore is hungry for the playoffs. The next game, we got Jaguars at Colts. This game is going to be a little bit interesting, honestly. I mean, Jaguars and Colts, that's just... So this game is at 1 p.m., and let's see, points, they're both getting... Jaguars only getting 15 points, and Colts are getting 25. By the way, the Colts are 10-5. Jaguars are 4-11. Jaguars don't have a playoff spot, and they're not going to play very well, I don't think. Both are getting over 200 passing yards. Both are getting actually about 20 more or 30 more rushing yards for the Colts. The defense, both allowing their opponents to get over 20 points. Both allowing their opponent to get over 350 points, both allowing their opponents to get over 200 passing and over 100 rushing. They're pretty even in the statistics, but record-wise, no. The Colts are going to definitely go out there and win. Andrew Luck is going to get lucky and definitely go to the playoffs and do pretty well in the playoffs, honestly. I think Jaguars aren't going to get a field goal, and my bold prediction is all 3 of the Jaguars' field goals are going to be over 45 yards. I'm not exactly sure who the kicker is, but I think he's going to boom a few. Next one is the Jets and Miami. Now, this is obviously a division rivalry. These two don't exactly like each other, if you will, and that's just pretty much how most division rivalries are. Dolphins crushed them the last game, 23-3. This game is at 1 p.m. 7-8 Jets face the 8-7 Dolphins. The Jets pretty much don't have a chance at the playoff. So, for people, a lot of people want Miami to lose so their team can make the wild card. But let's just go deep down into these stats real fast. Both getting almost 20 points per game. Both getting, actually, you won't believe this, but the Jets are getting 0.3 more yards than the Dolphins are. In passing yards, Dolphins are getting about 40 more. I'm trying to think of the Dolphins quarterback, and I can't think of it right now. It starts with a T. Rushing yards, Jets are getting a lot more. So let's go quickly to the defense. Both allowing their opponents to get over 20 yards. Both allowing their opponents to get over 300 yards. Both allowing their opponents to get over 200 passing yards. Both allow... Actually, Dolphins are allowing their opponents to get over from 40 more rushing yards than the Jets are. So actually, the Jets do have better stats, but the Dolphins have a better record. Dolphins started out the season very well, and I feel like Geno Smith is just not a key quarterback. The Jets are going to have to get someone out of the draft this year, and I'm saying that the Dolphins are going to win 20-13. I don't really have a bold prediction for this game. I just think it's going to be, all points are going to be in the second half. I'm going to say it starts at 0-0 going into halftime. Next game is the Lions at the Vikings. This is going to be it's not going to be like an amazing game, but it's going to be, I mean, Lions did win it last time by 10 points, but this game is just gonna be a breakout game for Matt Stafford. 7-8 Lions, 4-10-1 Vikings. The Lions don't really have playoffs, I don't think. Points per game, both getting 25. Yards per game, the third place Lions are getting over 400 yards, and about 340 for the Vikings. Passing yards, 60 more for the Lions. Rushing yards, like 10 more for the Vikings. The Vikings do better on the ground. Obviously, Adrian Peterson and Gerhardt are doing pretty well. Let's go to the defense. Allowing their opponents to get 24 yards is the Detroit, and 31 points for the Vikings. Defensive yards per game, Vikings are allowing over 400 and about 350 for the Lions. Passings both over 250. Rushing is just about a 20-yard difference. So I think Adrian Peterson's going to be the difference in this game. I feel like he's not going to have a very good game, and I feel like Bush is going to just pretty much destroy Chris Johnson. I feel like he's going to get lots of yards, and I think it's going to be a 35-17. I think it's not going to be very close at all. Vikings haven't been playing too well this season. They started at like 1-7. I'm surprised how they got up to 4-10-1. My bold prediction is 3 touchdowns for Chris Johnson. So let's go on. Tampa Bay and the Saints. This is going to be an interesting game. Last time, the Saints won by 2 points. It's going to be a close game, honestly. It's at 4:25. 4-11 Buccaneers, the 10-5 Saints. Obviously, Buccaneers are going to not play very well because they know they don't have a playoff spot. Points per game, 18 for the Buccaneers, 25 for the Saints. Yards over almost 400 for the Saints, and close to 300 for the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are one of the worst offense in the league. So let's just go to defense real fast. Buccaneers are allowing their opponents to get about 4 more points and about 30 more yards than the Saints are. Obviously, the Saints are going to get some points, definitely. My bold prediction is I think it's going to be a shutout. And that's all I have to say for this game. I don't have very much to say. Drew Brees is doing pretty well. We got Bills at Patriots. Now, this is a division rivalry right here. They all are, I think. Don't quote me on that. The Bills at the Patriots. The last time these two faced, the Patriots won by 2 points. So, these guys, Bills have been able to beat the Patriots. Honestly, they have. But, let's go. Both getting over 20 points, but about 7 more for the Patriots. Yards, both getting over 300. Both getting about 70 more passing yards for the Patriots. But the Patriots are about 20 less rushing yards per game. Their defenses are, let's see here, allowing their opponents to get 23 points for the Bills, 21 points for, the Patriots. Both of them are doing too good on defense. Actually, 5th place for the Bills on defensive pass yards per game. But I feel like Bills seem like they have a little bit better defense as well as not offense, definitely. 11-4 Patriots have clinched the playoffs. 6-9 Bills pretty much don't have a chance. And I feel like it's to be a close game, but Patriots win with a field goal over 50 yards in the 4th quarter. That's my bold prediction. Rams at Seahawks. Now this game is going to be pretty nice. Rams at Seahawks. Both these teams, haven't been playing like super well, but they're what am I saying? These guys are I meant to say both these teams are playing really well recently, and 2-game winning streak. Yeah, sorry about that. For the Rams, last time these guys faced the Seahawks, obviously won. Now this game's at 4:25. Both getting over 20 points per game. By the way, the records are 7-8 Rams, the 12-3 Seahawks. Seahawks have a better offense, but and a really good defense, actually. Defensive yards per game and defensive pass yards per game, Seahawks are better. So this game is this game's no mystery. We all know it's going to be a blowout from the start, but I do think that the Rams are going to get some points, just not very many. It's going to be a 34-16 game. It's going to be lots of points scored. I say both teams are going to fumble the ball once, at least. Now we have San Francisco at Arizona. This game, it's not a game I'm just going to sit down and watch, honestly. It seems kind of boring to me. San Francisco, they're a good team, but then the Cardinals, you don't hear much about the Cardinals anymore. They're just kind of like, Last time these two faced, the 49ers won by 12. Let's talk about the records. 11-4 San Francisco, 10-5 Cardinals. I believe both have a playoff spot, and both are doing fairly well, actually. But I just don't feel like I feel like it's gonna be, I feel like I'm just gonna watch it. I'm just gonna see San Francisco win. It's just gonna be no challenge. San Francisco obviously has a better offense, although they are 31st in passing yards, but that's besides the point. And way better defense, although no, they're first in defensive rush yards. The Cardinals, they're about even, honestly, and it's gonna be, a good game. It's just gonna, we got Colin Kaepernick gonna pass the ball. It's gonna be a 24-10 game. My bold prediction will be that, hold on a second. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Anyway, my bold prediction for this game, I don't really have one. It's going to be a game, just a boring game that I don't want to watch. Both teams are have even records. It's just going to, be one of those games where you're just like, whatever. So the next game, Broncos at Raiders. Another blowout game, honestly. It's not gonna. The Raiders don't stand a chance in this game, and they must have just thrown the tile. I don't even know why they're gonna play. They're not very good. They're doing alright, I guess. But the last time these guys did face, Broncos won, and they're gonna win again. 4-11 for the Raiders and 12-3 for the Broncos. It's just gonna be Peyton Manning. It's just gonna lob those passes down the field. The Broncos are first in 3 of the categories on the offense, but then both of their defenses aren't doing very well, I should say. But obviously, if your offense is better than your defense, then you'll do good. So Broncos are just gonna win. That's all I have to say. 42-19. Bold prediction. Raiders have 3 turnovers. Now this is gonna be a pretty good game right here. Kansas City at San Diego. Both teams, just kind of. Both teams have good records now, but they've gone, they want the playoffs. Both teams do. And last time they faced, the Chargers actually won by 3 points. The record's 11-4 for Kansas City, 8-7 for the Chargers. Chargers fighting for that wild card spot. points per game. They're both getting around the 25 range yards per game. Both actually Chargers are getting about 60 more yards per game. So obviously Chargers offense is better. Now they're both allowing their opponents to get about 20 points per game, about 360 yards per game, about 250 passing yards, and about 110 rushing yards. They're actually very similar in statistics. I feel like Kansas City they're not gonna settle with 11-5. They want that 12-4 spot where it just makes them satisfied. They're just gonna play hard. Alex Smith is gonna pass the ball. It's not even gonna be. I feel like the Chargers just aren't gonna get that wild card playoff spot. I think it's gonna be a 28-20 game. Both teams have been doing well recently. Not really so much Kansas City, but the Chargers definitely have been. And my bold prediction is each team goes 50% on field goal attempts. Whether it's 2 for 4, 1 for 2, you know. So this next game is the last game, I believe. And this is a division rivalry. Eagles at Cowboys. Last time these guys did face. Let me find it real fast. Where is it? Last time these guys faced, the Eagles lost, obviously. But this game, I think they're gonna win 20-13. Honestly, let's go over some statistics before I explain my reasoning. They're both getting 28 points. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I am back once again. And both, the Eagles are getting a lot more yards per game. Their defenses, both aren't doing too great. I would say the Eagles have a little bit better defense, and Tony Romo has been chokes every December, and he's gonna do it again, 23-13. I think for this game, there's not going to be any points in the second half. I think this is going to be the first half score. So I want to thank you guys for watching my predictions. Let me make sure that was the last one. So thank you guys for watching my predictions. Like this video and subscribe, because I'll be doing some playoff predictions and stuff. If you have any opinions, a different opinion on the game, please leave a comment below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.